What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Bourbon and Bullshit podcast with some good friends, great drinks, and a little bit of BS. So grab a seat, pour up something neat, and welcome to the show. Welcome back, everyone. This is part 2 of Bourbon and the Man Behind the Bar, featuring Billy Masters, the bar manager from The Courtesy in Winter Park, Florida. This is actually one of the first of our series for Support Local, featuring Orlando-based or Florida-based personalities, brands, bars, restaurants, chefs, or overall influencers. So this is going to be a fun run, as I truly believe in supporting local and small businesses. So stay tuned for so many more great interviews and the completion of this one. If you guys enjoy, please share, like, subscribe, and leave a 5-star review on all formats. We're going to jump right back into this, as this interview was great and super insightful. So look forward to it, guys. Stay tuned. Yeah, it's not a full sampling menu, so yeah, no. I get it. And I think it's big. I think we talked about it earlier, where your palate expands and grows and learns.
Yeah.
I'll be the first person to tell you, obviously, like the joke is just like, on hot dogs, you put ketchup and not mustard. It's like everyone, ketchup's immature. It's like, yeah, I get it. I've grown as I've gotten older. I was like, I fucking fuck with mustard. Yeah. I put in my sandwiches. I put in stuff like that. I quietly fuck with mustard. My fiance's going to listen to this and go, when did you buy mustard? Like, when did you put mustard? It's like, you mind your goddamn business. I put it on sandwiches. Mustard last stand. I like the fact that you revisited and established this is it. Either works now or will never work again.
Yep.
Would you bring it back?
No, I don't bring it back any cocktails.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Once and done? One and done?
One and done. This has time.
I think that's cool. So like you were just not, this is never an encore, like nothing.
Yeah, and I think that's the part of the specialty about Courtesy too. You know, we always have these special ingredients, so it's tough to bring like it back just for like a little time. You know.
And you use really unique, almost seasonal ingredients too, because
that's what we try to do. You know, try to use something that's very unique, where you know they have to come here for it. You know.
Yeah, and you make almost all your stuff you make all your stuff in house, right? Tell us about that process for simples, tinctures.
So we're really lucky now. Like we actually have a back house guy, Mitchell, which unfortunately you'll be interviewing him, and head of HR, Josh Call. Also head of HR. I'm very much joking if anybody ever knows him. But you know, Mitchell is very talented. He's very consistent. He is trial and errored all these syrups to make them the best possible versions, and it absolutely crushes it. You know, but we're very lucky to have him in that position to be able to do everything so consistently and really just fucking really tastefully.
And when I've talked to Mitchell, he is he's so passionate. He cares so much about like consistency. And I think I came in on a Tuesday night or something. I was supposed to meet friends here. I talked to Mitchell and Josh, and Mitchell was like talking to me about the menu and what he's proposed and what he's come up with and all this. And he's like, I want to make sure this is consistent. This has to be poured right. This has to be done right. I will fucking painstakingly work to make sure that this goes well. And to your point, the experience from beginning to end should feel the same, whether he's in here or not. And everyone kind of almost relies on that consistency, because if I come in on a Tuesday and a drink sucks, but compared to a Saturday, now you lose my business on Tuesday.
Yeah. Like, you know, that's what goes back to the consistency and like all the drinks too. You know, like we want to make sure every drink you get, whether from me, which probably doesn't happen anymore.
Hey, you've made me 1 or 2 drinks.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'm like, hey Billy, what are you making back there?
I mean, don't put this old horse in the glue farm. Yeah, I still got it.
Yeah.
You know, I can still show these youngins something. You know, but in all seriousness, though, you know, whether you get a drink from me or, you know, one of my other bartenders, like, it should be the same exact drink.
Yeah.
You know, will be the same exact drink. And, you know, that's what it comes back to about the consistency and just Mitchell's position as well, too. You know, that's the one bad thing about when you have multiple people doing syrups or, you know, these different tinctures or, you know, or like if you don't have a standardized procedure, you know, everything comes out a little different, and then therefore the cocktail comes out a little different.
Yeah, if someone puts a little bit too much sugar in this cocktail, too much rosemary, or too much basil, or too much like cinnamon or something,
and there's certain flavors that a little bit too much really overpowers something. Another flavor.
Rosewater. Rosewater is one of the biggest fucking like
cumin.
Yeah, cumin.
There's so many different flavors that are just so overpowering if you imbalance it.
Yeah, and it's weird, and it's not weird, but it's unique to not only unique to this industry, baking, cooking, anything like that, where you're creating something where someone's going to be taking it in. They like just hair too much is going to stand out as bad.
Yeah.
Like even when we talked about mustard, but in the food industry, cilantro, some people taste it, some people don't like it. It tastes like soap to them, depending on who you are. Basil could be overpowering.
Yeah,
Rosewater is
yeah,
overpowering.
for sure.
And
Orange blossom water too.
Orange blossom water is one of the big ones too.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. So having someone like Mitchell, which guys who are listening, we will interview Mitchell. It will be a fun.
I'm sorry, guys. It will be a very fun podcast.
I mean, this is a fun one right now, but that one's going to be off the rails. I'm going to need adult supervision.
Yep.
It'll be
There'll
great.
be a lot of editing. I can promise you
Jesus, I don't know if I have that kind of time. But so I think that's cool that you guys established that, and obviously it's a successful business. I don't expect anything less. That you have quality control almost with Mitchell, and making sure that's all the same. So we talked about kind of the Mustard's Last Stand it being the one that you revisited, but that's not your signature cocktail. I want to know what your Mona Lisa is. I want to know if you were having to present a drink that represented Billy. This is so who I am. This is everything I put my name on this. I will put it. I will proudly. It's not a hey. I riffed. This is me.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. I know.
That's really tough. Okay, so if I had to say one,
yeah. If you want to give me two, that's fine. But I want to hear one. I want to hear the Mona Lisa. What would be in the Louvre?
I would say I'll give you two. So I'd say one would be the Deku Tree that we have on our menu now.
Yes, I see that. I've had that one before.
Yeah.
Tell us about the Deku Tree first and what brought it up.
So for me, I think that's a perfect balance of like recreatability, but still uniqueness, where it has some very interesting ingredients, but still very palatable for, novice drinkers. But also has some depth and complexity to it. So it's a gin-based drink with a little bit of Midori, a Chirot, which is aloe liqueur, mint honey syrup, with a little bit of lemon juice, with a edible flower on top, with some Angostura artwork on top.
Guys, the Deku
It's got a gorgeous hue.
Fucking gorgeous. Such a beautiful, gorgeous drink. And it's been on the menu pretty often.
Yeah, it's one of the standards now. Yeah. And I think another one. Ooh.
Where did the Deku Tree come from? Like, what inspired that? Because there's a whole Deku, like, Zelda.
Yeah. So, a little bit of a gamer growing up. So, that was that. So, like, Zelda, I think green. But one of the things, too, I love doing because our owner's very involved, especially Diana. So is Jean too, but Diana always tastes the cocktails. So she's like, I hate my Midori. She's like, so she'll always say she hates like three things, like Midori, Jaeger, and like sherry. So I always try to do something where I'm like, you don't hate it. You just don't hate it in like the aspect you're thinking of.
I made a Jaegerito recently. We'll talk about that later.
Jaeger daiquiri is fuck.
Jaeger margarita is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. It's like the same thing. Yeah. Lime juice, little.
I'm mad at it. I was mad how good that was.
Yeah. It's like a Maro daiquiri. Very good.
So you did the Deku Tree, little gamer, a little bit of a nerd growing up, and you said, fuck it, this is what we're going to name it?
Yeah. And so funny thing, like, I feel like these, like, because I came up with this at the old spot just because, like, obviously we do a lot of cocktails based on, like, what our customers want, so I had somebody who was like, I want a gin, refreshing, slightly tart drink. The funny thing, though, is when I presented that, me, Mitchell, and Josh, at that point, that was basically the entire staff, we all presented, like, the same drink.
What?
Yeah. It was wild. And, like, one time I saw Mitchell make something similar. I'm like, oh. Or, like, so-and-so asked for this drink. He's like, no. I'm like, what the fuck did you make? He's like, I did this. I'm like, that's kind of crazy because this is what I do. Okay. And so, like, we all had, like, a very similar, like, thought process. Yeah. So we all did something very similar.
That's interesting. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, it's like all our peers aligned.
Yeah. my significant other just made that reference to that recently. She's been go to school with some people. She's like, yeah, we all got sweets. I was like, shit, this is going to be a rough week. But that's awesome that you guys all kind of got in that creative space together.
Yeah.
And went through it. What's a second Mona Lisa? Well, I can't guess
okay.
a second Mona Lisa. What's your second masterpiece?
The one that kind of stands out that was very unique was the Temples and Taggards. So it was a tiki style drink, which for me, like, it stands out because, like, that's not my specialty. I don't really enjoy rum drinks. For me,
I was about to say, I don't see your name attached to many rum.
No, for me, like, I feel like after you kind of talk to me, like, I'm very like I like definitions. I like rules. You know, rum's a wild, wild west. Like bourbon, scotch, tequila, mezcal. You know, they've got so well defined laws. Rum's like the wild, wild west. You can do whatever the fuck you want. It's crazy. You know, but the tiki cocktails here are wild. Like you have 12 ingredients, like 12 different touches. Like it's so inefficient, but wild, you know.
Oh, it's great.
You know, but the flavors are great. You know, this one I did like the whole theme was just very good. Like I did like Batavia Rock, which was like you know, a red rice kind of based like liqueur, basically like a rum. You know, I had like a Indian rum, so the whole idea was kind of like Western Asian kind of theme.
Yeah.
I brought one of my good friends was able to bring in Kummel, which is like a cumin liqueur, typically a cumin and caraway liqueur. So it's very cumin forward. So I did that with like an Indian rum. What was it? Amrut West Indies rum.
Yeah.
A little bit of Batavia Rock.
Uh-huh.
Like a pineapple turmeric kind of syrup too. So it was great.
That is cool. That sounds delicious.
Yeah, so I just really enjoyed doing something outside of my comfort zone, and just the thematic overall thought I thought was like pretty good.
That's actually really interesting to hear.
So you had like these kind of Western Indian spices in there,
like cumin is a big one, right?
Yeah.
That's a strong flavor.
Oh yeah.
Jeez, we were just talking about like something that could go overpowering if you're wrong.
Yeah.
That sounds. Did you put it on the menu and I missed it? What was it? Remind me.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Oh,
that was
okay.
Temples and Tankards. That was a while ago.
One day we're gonna have to revisit that because I'm curious what the fuck that's gonna taste
Yeah.
like. You talked a little bit about thematics and themes, and I love the fact that you like want to branch out and go something away from your like typical,
Yeah.
like scotches, bourbons, like you said. It's crazy because I was actually talking to someone about the fact that I like fucking with mezcals and making drinks with mezcals and specific tequilas. There's a list I have of like additive free, very specific, unique, good tequilas that are not necessarily over the top expensive, but higher in quality.
Oh, there's a ton of them.
Yeah, I have a full list. I follow a couple creators that their specialties tequilas. And I've found like so much more value in that than as opposed to going to like Patrons and all that. Yeah, it's crazy. But when you think about getting creative and getting quality over quantity and all that, it's hype versus content. Like actual context is wild, and people don't necessarily know that. If you had to, this is off the cuff. I'm just gonna go with a question.
Yeah.
Here. If you had someone joining the spirits game, what would be the first entry level whiskey they would try and first entry level mezcal they would try? Ooh. You're like, if you're gonna come in here, here's a whiskey / bourbon. You can give them a rye, whatever, and here's a tequila / mezcal. These are the two you need in your bar.
For their first time?
For their bar. You're starting a bar at home bar. I need 2 bottles. I need a whiskey and I need a tequila / mezcal.
Are you talking about for their palate or just for cocktails?
Cocktails. Just which on your highest like regard, this is what I need I need this in my house at all times.
Okay, I understand the question.
Yeah.
So I would say for whiskey, you need a rye, Rittenhouse, killer.
All day.
Got it. You know, that fits so many different things. Great for cocktails, still good sipper.
Yeah.
You know, for bourbon, I would say, oh man, that's tough. So I could go a couple different routes. You know, one of my favorites, and that's our well here, Evan Williams 1783.
That's phenomenal.
Good. You know, great. But, you know, if you're looking for something softer, you know, we kind of talked about this before with the Weller. You know, that's for an intro to somebody with whiskey. I would recommend a wheat mash bill. You know, I would go Larceny.
Larceny.
You know, something that's a little bit softer. You know, Larceny, Maker's Mark.
These are fantastic choices, Billy. These are I love all of those.
And then for mezcal specifically, a first-time mezcal drinker, Ilegal, is soft. You know, mezcal is a very polarizing kind of flavor. You're talking about like kind of like a peated scotch. Like for a first-timer, definitely Ilegal. It's a little bit softer.
Yeah, I will tell you the honest to God truth. Why I got into Ilegal was because they were making fun of certain people that I liked them making fun of.
Yeah.
They said so-and-so was a pendejo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. I almost gonna. I've got a shirt of that. I almost got in a fight at the last.
You have
bar.
that shirt?
Yeah.
I
literally almost got in a fight at the last couple of days the bar was open.
Oh my God! I did not realize that. That's why I got into Ilegal because that shirt specifically.
Yeah.
I was like, whoever the fuck works there, I'm buying all of their products. I have 4 bottles of LA right now.
So for me, like, it was a brand shirt. So like, I'm just like wearing the brand shirt. Like, and I was going to the bathroom, so I took off like my apron, and some dude comes out, and he's obviously day drinking. It was a Sunday, and most of the time the Sunday crowd is great, but like, he's like, bro, you think that? I'm like, I mean, kind of, but like, this is a shirt. Like, I don't really care. Like,
this is a shirt from a brand that we represent at
he's
the bar.
trying to end up trying to fight me over. I'm like,
that's a bad idea.
Oh yeah. Yeah, probably a bad idea.
Yeah, probably.
But you know me, I'm pretty chill. So
Yeah.
like, I was like, dude, just get out. Like, we're not making a scene.
That's crazy. I did not realize that we had similar flavor profiles like that, because
Yeah.
Elegala is the first mezcal we tried. Remember the paper plane we made here for when I got engaged was because of Elegala.
No, I would say not my favorite, but it's an awesome brand. Awesome people are behind it.
Yeah.
For a first time mezcal drinker, I would recommend that.
Yeah. What's your favorite mezcal?
I think the better question is what's my favorite agave?
What's your favorite
mezcal
agave?
can be made from so many different agaves.
All right, what's your
I'm a
favorite
big
agave?
fan of the Karwinski.
It's a Karwinski. Tell me
Yeah,
about
so like
this.
we're talking about like Barriel.
Okay.
That like I think that has a bunch of depth of flavor, but a big thing too that I think a lot of people don't understand about mezcal is like the terroir aspect, almost like the wine aspect. Like where I've had so many of these different agaves, but depending on where it's made, how it's made, changes it so much.
You got to tell me more. Tell us more. Well, we don't got that kind of time, do we?
I don't need that kind of time, but mezcal is so cool. Like it, like when we talk about definitions, there's so many legalities to it, which is really cool. But the one unfortunate thing I would say is lack of education in some of those countries or principalities of Mexico. They have the same name for all these different mezcals, but it's just regionally based because of lack of education. So it's like there's a constant question of like how many like agaves are there actually like made from.
It's actually really accurate. We could do that on like bourbon and principalities later on. Like we can do a whole thing on that. But I think that's cool though that like you mentioned similar to what we would have. I think that having that staple rye. You earlier talked about kind of books that you bought when your journey to cocktails. Death and Company, one of the companies that I utilize for some of the books that I have at home, they actually put up like a master list almost of like what you should have for your home bar. It's like 15 bottles and you can make like 300 cocktails, something wild. And
it's a good list.
It's a great list. It's a fucking fantastic list. And I was surprised because it could be very intimidating to anyone trying to make drinks at home right off the rip, because you're like, oh, I'm going to spend hundreds and hundreds. And yes, you're going to spend some money. Yeah. You could. But if you get these 15 bottles, these are the cocktails you could make.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it was like it was called like the Cocktail Codex.
It's a great book.
It's a fantastic book. I have it at home. I loved seeing that they almost oversimplified at home cocktails.
Yeah.
This is how you make garnishes. This is how you do this. This is how you do this. And there's like a certain sense of pride. It's like, I made a really good drink. It's like the motherfuckers make a shed in the back. I made a great shed. So it's cool that you brought up the bottles that I thought should be in your base bar. Rittenhouse, inexpensive. And Gala's overall not the most expensive. But it should be kind of an entry level. It's not bad. It's not overly complex, and it's not something that's going to push you over the edge. That's actually cool. That's actually nice to hear.
Yeah. And there's no wrong answer for it. It just depends what you're looking for. It's depending what kind of cocktails you're doing.
Yeah.
Like some people are like, oh, like I'll make all my cocktails Papios. Okay, cool. Like you do you, boo boo. Like, but it's like waste of money. Like you ain't gonna be tasting that Pappy in the paper plane.
That is my point.
So it's like,
it doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, but if you want to do it, cool. Do you?
I recently put up a video. I was making something dedicated. Is like the Eclipse of the Rye. Yeah. And I was using Sazerac rye. It's a $25 bottle.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. It's like whatever. I don't care. Then I made a New York Sour and I used Eagle Rare because I had a bunch of bottles at the house.
Yeah.
And someone's like, "You're really using Eagle Rare for a cocktail?" I was like, "Yeah, because it's mine."
Yeah.
Like I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah. And then it's like not the secondary market, but it's a $25 bottle.
Yeah, Eagle Rare's like a 30, like $25. It's not that expensive. Like,
No.
why are we arguing about this?
It shouldn't be that much more expensive.
Yeah.
I saw some place in like someone was telling me some place in Miami was selling like a bottle of like regular Eagle Rare for like $200. I'm like, get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out of here.
Like they can suck it.
And we talked about it earlier. That secondary market's overly inflated people's perceptions of certain bottles. I have a bottle of Blanton's that I make old fashions with. But Blanton's should only be like a $50, $60 bottle.
Yeah.
Like, why are we mad that I made a
Yeah.
really good old fashioned with it? Like, why are you mad at me? You're not sipping this straight.
No.
If you are, you're lying. Like,
Yeah.
but I want to talk to you about thematic. We talked about cocktails. We talked about menus. We
Yeah.
talked about everything you've been doing. I want to talk about dream theme. This one I think is fun. This one I want to kind of get to know Billy as like what you desire, what you want to do. If you could have dream theme bar, we'll start with a
Yeah.
bar. What would it be? What was the theme? Would it be food? Would it not be food? Would it be cocktails only? Tell me about it. Tell me about this bar.
Have to have food, especially we're talking about like Orlando. Like to get a liquor license now, just like pure liquor license, crazy, like 900,000. So it'd have to be food, but also I think food goes very well. Like, we want to be responsible. Like, I think food should be provided when you're drinking.
Yeah, you gotta absorb some of that.
But also as a businessman or like a business side of it, one bar that always sticks out to me is Copycat Bar in Washington D.C.
I've never heard of that bar.
Yeah,
We'll talk about
super
that.
cool.
I'm gonna make a note of that. But go on, tell me about your theme.
Copycat Bar. So it was kind of the cocktail codex theme. It's like you have every bottle has a purpose. So limited back bar, but they maybe had like about 25 bottles, but obviously everything was there for a reason.
Yeah.
So like you're talking about your overhead isn't crazy. Cocktails are amazing, but like it's like this is two different trains of thoughts, and I definitely understand both. So it's like the woods, even here, like you look at our back bar, we have so many cool bottles,
You do.
super unique. Think how much money is on that.
Yeah, that's a fuck ton of just sitting there waiting for someone to order.
What's your guess?
I
I probably can't say this on the air. But I'll tell you off the air.
Skip that question.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. Let's skip that. Then. But like, yeah. Think about how much money is just sitting back there.
yeah, it's a fuck ton amount.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you look at some. You had Old Fits there for a while. You've had some
Yeah.
good bottles up there. I've looked before and gone, maybe, but then I remembered. I was like, no.
Yeah, you
here
think
for the
all those
cocktails.
mezcals, and you think all those
Yeah.
whiskeys, you think all those scotches. That's a lot of money sitting up there,
But it also to your point, like if someone's coming in here for a mixed drink, I'm
Yeah.
here for cocktails. Yes,
Yeah.
I want it every once in a while. I might fuck around and say, just pour that neat. Fuck, it's been that kind of week.
Yeah, and that's cool too.
Yeah, that's cool too. But I'm here for like everything else.
Most people are here for the cocktails.
Yeah. So like some of those get lost in translation, right? We're using simples, we're using sours, we're using bitters, we're using all this. I'm not getting as much of that like flavor. There's levels to it. I don't want a bottom of the barrel in a plastic jug bourbon in my old fashioned.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily need a Pappy's.
No.
But not
What's the
necessarily.
point?
I don't need that at all. What's the
Just give
point?
me a taste of the nuances.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's some things that don't make sense. But if you had to be like, this is my bar, are you going to be carrying those higher end ones? Like, I want to know about your dream bar.
So I think a dream bar. If I was running a cocktail bar, I think I would.
You tell me.
I think I would do more like, I have about 30 bottles with a very specific purpose. Like maybe 4 bourbons, maybe 4 ryes. Like things that just hit every category that I need. Like like
Higher proof, entry level, middle tier,
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
bottom.
yeah,
Bottom. But
yeah,
even your
yeah.
bottle would be probably higher end, right?
Yep, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
So what's the theme of it? Is it all straight mixology? Is it all just like
If I was to do that, mixology.
okay?
Yeah, that would, for just pure cocktails.
Yeah.
But that way it keeps my overhead low, where I'm still have all, and it goes back to what we're talking about the cocktail codex. Like you have these 15 bottles, you do
Make it
this
make
many,
sense.
you could do this many cocktails.
Yeah. It's not like having an obscure ingredient that you'll use
Yeah.
once every 7 months. That makes sense. That's actually really fucking efficiency. To your point, number 3,
Yeah.
efficiency
Yeah.
in the rule book.
I'm a simple man.
Simple, man. I just want things to make sense.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. And you food. What kind of food?
I go back and forth on that. I
Oh.
do go back and forth on that. So obviously being like Korean heritage, like I've always thought of like kind of like Korean American, kind of like fusion.
Yeah.
I think that's been popping off lately.
Mhm.
But I'm definitely open to the food. But also on the flip side, because me, I love bourbon, I love whiskey, I love tequila and mezcal. It's going the opposite, just having like all these crazy selections. But of course, nothing.
It's your
There's
dream
always
bar.
a double-edged sword.
It's a dream bar. What do you want? You're on your menu.
If I had to pick one, it would be the first thing though.
Korean inspired
Yeah,
mixology
cocktails,
bar.
limited amount of
Efficiency.
bottles, efficiency.
I like
Yeah.
that. There's a certain part of me I halfway expect you to be a little bit more like Korean Hispanic influence.
I
Kind
do
of
love
that
that.
fusion. Yeah, because I know you do. Well,
Yeah.
even when we talked about the empanadas, you're like, I fuck with like Hispanic things.
Yeah.
Like there's a little bit there.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of like
And those flavors just pair very well
really,
together.
that's exactly what I was about to joke about.
Yeah.
I was like, there's a little bit of like, we have a lot of spices in common. We
Overlap.
Yeah, it's a lot of overlap, and we fucking fuck with drinking.
Yeah. You ain't lying there.
It's true. For anyone who does not have a Hispanic or Korean friend, don't go to our parties. You'll never leave.
Or grab an Uber. Please grab an Uber.
Please, always drink responsibly. Don't text your ex and turn off Amazon one click buy when you're heading home, because it's a bitch. There's things popping up at my door almost daily that I'm like, who ordered this? Me? I ordered.
Nope.
Why do I order a vacuum? Like a handy vacuum. All right, so we talked about the theme of the bar, but all right, so we know the bar. If you were here at the Courtesy or any mixology bar, you had full reigns, but what would be the dream theme? We've done Nightmare. But what would be a theme that you just said, I'm making a whole menu for this month, whatever you wanted it to be. It doesn't have to be thematic to it, like, it doesn't have to be a President's Day menu. Yeah. If you could just decide this is a theme of the menu, I don't fucking care if it's the Goonies menu. I don't care. What is something you've like would love to get down perfectly?
Oh man.
Even though if you haven't come up with it, what is the dream?
That's tough. So I would say twofold answer.
Always.
Sorry.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I got enough
one was
alcohol
honestly the Lunar New Year's menu.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
We brought a lot of different culture to an area that maybe didn't know a lot of it, and just a lot of different flavors that a lot of people weren't accustomed to. But also that was like, we're all human. We all come from certain areas, so like just bringing that heritage, where especially being adopted to, where I'll always be a part of that culture, but I'll never be all of it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were adopted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Billy Masker, super white.
You know what? Yeah, you know what Masker is? That's not a Korean name.
First name William.
Oh shit,
too.
that's actually really fun. Wow, well, you know what? I didn't pay attention to any of that. My name is Arthur. Like, I'm super Dominican.
Yeah. All
right.
Yeah, but just like getting back to the roots too. Like to me, that's always very cool. You know.
So Lunar you did one of your dreams. What's one that you have not done and you would love to?
Oh man,
because I have one that I've been wanting to do.
Let me hear hear yours first.
I have one I've been wanting to do. I've attempted it twice.
Okay.
I attempted it when I was 25. I threw a party called the 7 Deadly Sins party.
I think you told me about this.
Yeah. So I did that just fucking around when I was 25.
Yeah.
Recently, on my 40th birthday, I made a menu based off loosely with stuff I saw in the Cocktail Codex, things online, things I've experienced, where I wanted to make a 7 Deadly Sins versus 7 Deadly Virtues cocktail menu. Sins, obviously gluttony, sloth, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Virtues, the opposite and opposed. So one of my favorite drinks on there is just one I like pouring, was called the Forbidden Sour, because people forget that in the Bible it said the apple wasn't really apple, it was a Chinese apple, which was a pomegranate.
Yeah.
So it was a pomegranate, like simple syrups, all this stuff, really, really unique flavor, very vibrant and red. It was that Forbidden Sour, and that was the part of the Sins. So I've always wanted to. Obviously, I'm an amateur, so those were nowhere near as elevated.
Yeah.
But if I had the ability to have like, hey, fuck it, the Courtesy's doing this, I would be like 7 Deadly Sins. Let's fuck around and basically make 7 Virtues, 7 Sins. And that would be such a badass, because I would love to see the creativity about the bar. Like my first time around for Wrath, I said a Sambuca on fire shot type of drink. Yeah. Because I was like, Wrath seems fiery and crazy. I was like, Wrath could also be a little bit more passive than that. Mm-hmm. Something that just internally is fiery. So something stronger, or a tequila based with chili or jalapenos, or something with ghost pepper chili. So I started getting creative as I got older. I was like, there's a little bit more nuances here that instead of taking things on the surface level, let me take it a little bit on a deeper level and make that give me the ability to be more creative with it. Where originally when I was 25, sloth was, I'm going to make your drink for you, make a mudslide. And when I got older, sloth or lazy, I just made a freezer door old fashioned or Manhattan. I was like, here, I just pulled it out. Poured it out for you. Still sloth, laziness. Yeah. But I found a way to elevate it in a funny way. So that was my, I wish I could have the skill sets that you guys do to make this cocktail menu.
Oh, man, it's not skill sets. We've done more trial and error. It's practice.
Yeah, twice I've done it, but so that's mine. You get to share yours. What's your dream theme menu?
So if I had to do a dream theme,
Yeah,
a little bit of nerd, I would do a video game menu. Like it would be like a fun pop up, like have a bunch of systems around, like just have like kind of drinks themed around like these certain video games I grew up around.
What video games would be on the list? I don't want to know necessarily the drink because obviously
yeah. No, but like a lot that I played up growing when I was younger, you know, Legend of Zelda. Obviously, I named a drink after that.
Yeah.
Halo, you know, Final Fantasy. So having all these, and even like one of my old buddies, Marcus, he named a lot of his drinks off of like old video games, which I respect that. But I think it'd be cool, like, kind of having like almost like a cosplay kind of theme like that for like a week. I think that'd be cool. I think that would bring in a lot of different people.
You would fuck around and find out that there are significantly more nerds in Orlando than you guys.
I mean, don't we have like a big MegaCon or something like that?
Massive
not MegaCon, but like...
No, we do. MegaCon's massive here.
Yeah,
You have Full Sail out there.
Yeah.
You have a bunch of cosplay organizations. You have a bunch... the fact that Full Sail even exists in Orlando.
Yeah, that's true.
You'd fuck around and get a bunch of gamers.
That's true.
If you mess around and make a Final Fantasy themed chocobo cocktail, you might get some crazy nerds in here. I mean, Winter Park might be pissed because all the Full Sail kids are going to be over here like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But that's awesome, man. I'm pleasantly surprised that you are a big, massive gamer. I knew Deco Tree gamer influences, but I look forward to finally tasting the chocobo.
I have to work on that.
Pause. That sounds so dirty.
It does.
That sounds filthy. So last but not least, we're going to close out soon, but I did want to shoot you some questions from some big fans of yours. My group of friends does have a lot of people who, unfortunately, I have way too many people. They're all getting married, and I have to show up to a fuck ton of weddings. But they have some questions for you.
All right. I think I'm ready.
All right. So Johnny Quest asks, what is your favorite personal drink for you to drink yourself?
Okay, so I feel like a lot of people are going to be disappointed by this answer. But most of us, when we get off work as bartenders, we want a cocktail.
Okay, what do you want?
You saw what I had my first drink when you had yours?
Tell us.
Tequila soda.
Tequila sunrise?
Tequila soda. Yeah.
Tequila and soda?
Yeah. Just soda water. Yeah, good tequila, soda water. A lot of times people get very upset with me.
I'm not upset. I'm surprised.
Oh. It's like a chef. Like when they go home, are they making a 5-course meal?
Sure.
No. I just want something that's simple. I want something that's not going to kill my palate. A lot of times too, when I go out, I have a Corona and a Rumpleman shot.
Rumplemans?
Yeah, I love Rumplemans.
So that's not a joke. People really fuck with Rumplemans in the restaurant.
I fuck with Rumplemans.
I tried Rumplemans a bunch of times, and when I did work security, and like they would always like, here you go, just in case you have to drive. I was like, what the fuck? What?
So for me, it has a special place coming from the Midwest when it's cold. So we'd always take our shot of it when it's cold. You know, it warms you right up. High proof. It was great.
Midwest, where are you from?
Chicago suburbs.
All the suburbs. You just started the suburbs of Chicago.
Yeah, like northwest suburbs of Chicago. Like
I know you talk about Illinois.
Yeah, super small suburb. Then went to school south in Champaign-Urbana. Then after that, we had back-to-back polar vortexes.
I can remember those.
Fucking terrible.
Fucking awful.
Fucking terrible.
And here we are in Florida.
Yeah.
So if you're home by yourself, it's going to be tequila and soda. Love it. What's the tequila?
Fortaleza.
Really? Yeah, that's all chill on the list.
Yeah.
There's actually a fucking list of good tequilas.
In all honesty, I really don't drink at home. I've got tons of bottles. Never drink at home.
What the shit?
Never.
Look, I have jokes about this. Because
rarely drink at home. Maybe like once every 2 months I'll drink at home.
Similar to what you said, chefs don't necessarily want 5-course meals. I'm going to get a PB&J, move on. But I joke about, especially making this podcast, the misinterpretation or misrepresentation of it is that I'm a big, heavy drinker throughout the week. I'm not.
Never.
I'm not during the week. I'd rather have my Topo Chico and chill.
Yeah.
Put maybe some lime juice on the Topo Chico just spice it up a little bit because it's a little froggy.
Yeah.
But during the week, I relax because I have to spend so much time making drinks, trying them out, doing all this stuff. At some point, I was like, I need a functioning liver.
And I think that's like kind of what you're alluding to too. Is like even like people are like, oh, you're a bartender, you're drinking all the time, and it's like, you know, Josh Call, he's straight edge. He doesn't drink, he doesn't do drugs. Like, you know, some people do that. You know, for me too, it's like, of course, when I go out, sometimes I get bombed. Every once in a while, You know.
We are not without like days of fucking
Oh
we're
yeah.
getting
Oh
wrecked.
yeah. But for the most part, I tell people like, no, I spit. Like I'll. It's all about flavor. Like I'll taste. Like I have a bunch of suppliers coming out, but it's like, dude, I can't drink 10 whiskeys at 1 p.m. on a Wednesday and be functional. Like,
Yeah.
No, like I'll taste it, but I spit it. Like it's all about the flavors. I understand that product. It's like I'm not drinking that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be wrecked on a fucking Tuesday because it was a funny reel I made or some shit.
At noon. Like I'm still an adult.
Thank you. Oh, I love that. Billy, this is a great fucking conversation so far. All right, so if you're at a bar, at a restaurant, what's the first thing you order?
Oof. Probably shot tequila.
Fucking great. I love to hear it. Love to hear it. Simple, easy.
Shot tequila or Rumplemans. Yeah, I told you I'm a simple man.
When you order Rumplemans, do people look at you like they know? Like you work service at restaurants?
No, sometimes. Or they're like, what's wrong with you? Like a lot. How much time do you have? I could be here for a while.
We could unpack this together. Like, my therapist.
How much Rumplemans do you have?
I'll buy the whole bottle. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. What is one bottle or drink you've been chasing? We talked about that with the
I said the first Michter's Toasted Rye, the first one.
Someone asked, what kind of legacy do you hope to leave in the bar cocktail community?
Ooh, that's a great question.
That's a fucking deep one.
So
I was from Sherry. That was actually from Norby. Shit, Norby. You've been in here with his wife and all that.
Yeah.
All right, so it's that one.
So my legacy would be all the people who I've trained.
Mm-hmm.
How great did they do? I think that speaks to my legacy. I want them all to succeed. I want all the people who are under me to do better than me.
Billy, you're such a good human being. This is pissing me off. He's such a great guy. No, I'm joking. He's not pissing me off.
Yeah, no, but that's what I say. I hope everyone that I've taught does better than me. I want to see. I'm very excited for all of them.
You want to one day look at a menu, recognize a name, and go, I fucking know that guy.
Yeah.
It's like bring the bar manager out here.
Yeah.
And fucking.
Who's your manager?
Is Mitchell? Bring his dumbass out here.
Yeah. No, but like in all seriousness, like I want to see them all do better than me. I'm just trying to give them the tools to be successful, and everything else will take care of itself.
That's profound, man. I think that's awesome to hear that you want to make sure that you've kind of paved the way for them to be successful in their own ways. Someone gave you the opportunity, and you're paying it forward.
I want to pay it forward. Yep.
You want to make sure that and I think you speak to that when you talk about people presenting their drinks and menus here, and they're just going having fun and like, hey, I want to try this, I want to try this. And you let them be themselves. You let them be them, and you almost encourage it. Like, hey, let's fuck around and find out.
Self-expression.
Yeah. And
trial and error, but so you're learning from it.
And if it sucks, it sucks. We figure it out. Let's fucking figure out the flavor. Let's fucking fix it.
Why did it suck?
Yeah, it's like, oh, is it too fucking citrusy? Is it fucking taste like Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory? Sweet? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And I think that's unique to service in general. We can talk, like, people can talk a little bit more direct, not corporate life. Excuse me. Like,
Preach.
Fuck me. You could be a little bit less dancing around it and say, hey, man, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But let's fix it.
Yeah.
And then you see that turn out. So if you turn around and saw one of the people you trained or mentored in a 5-star restaurant / bar, you were like, that's it. I fucking did it.
Fucking love to see it.
That's fucking cool. So awesome.
Fucking love to see it.
I love to hear, man, because I think that tells a lot of people who you are. I think there are people who need to dim others' lights to make theirs brighter. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you are trying to like establish, hey, I want you to fucking shine as bright as you fucking want it.
Hell yeah. That's what it's about to me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like, you know, regardless of any industry, it's like, what's your viewpoint? Half glass full, half glass empty. You know? Yeah. But I want to see that. I think it's always full.
I think it's fucking awesome. I think it's when I was in leadership roles and all that, what always made my day better was knowing I made the person in front of me better.
Yeah.
Knowing the person that I'm training and upskilling, I was like, when I see that person succeed, it's like, that's my fucking stamp right there. I fucking did that. I helped that person. I facilitated that. Not that I'm taking credit. I'm so proud. Don't give me a single bit of credit.
No.
Don't fucking tell people
what
that.
We're talking about is like when we're like, I'll go over like scenarios of like, oh, okay, like, you know, why are we doing this whiskey? Like, why are you picking that for that person? And I see it. I'm like, oh, a single tear.
Yes. It's like you fucking won on your own.
Connected.
Yes. And then when they're like, oh, Arthur, I want to thank you. Don't fucking thank me.
No.
Don't just fucking win.
Yeah.
Win, and that's thanks enough for me.
Yeah.
Like, so I I fucking love seeing people win around me. So
Yeah.
I like that, Billy. I fucking love that.
Oh yeah.
All right. Someone wants to ask a little bit simpler of a question, not as deep. What's the best bar that you've been to, not in Orlando?
Oof. Okay. I would say this is pretty easy. I've been very fortunate lately where I've been able to travel a lot. So also I think that's a great question, but very few times I'm like, damn, this like blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times I'm like, oh, that's a good bar. There's only been a few times in my life I'm like, this place is blowing us out of the water. But the most recent one is Sips in Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Yeah.
Shit.
I believe that's the number one bar overall in the world right now.
Sips in Barcelona. Go on. Tell me more about it while I look this up.
Just everything, service to the drinks to the garnish, everything was so.
What was the drink that
detailed.
stood out?
I can't remember the name of it, but it had like a cheese tomato garnish. It was just
A drink had a cheese tomato garnish?
Yeah, just the depth of flavor, everything, the presentation, the service, amazing.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
So it was ranked number 1 in the world's 50 best bars in 2023.
Yeah, Sips, right?
Sips.
Yep.
Yep. 100%. Never heard of it until you just fucking mentioned it. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
Fucking Billy.
Like I've been to a couple other places in the top 50, but that one, like, I was like, oh, they're different.
Really?
They're different. Yeah. But you know, a lot of it to me, and I tell myself all the time too, it's like, you know, I've been to a bunch of other places too. It's like they're not doing much different than us, but it's like the small details. It's all about the details. You know?
I've never heard. How long were you in Barcelona?
So I was there for, well, I was in Spain for a couple weeks. I was there for a buddy's wedding, but I was only in Barcelona for a couple days, but I was able to hit Sips. I was able to hit up Paradiso. So their drinks were, I mean, the presentation, crazy. The drinks themselves were good.
I do find one thing funny. I'm looking at the top 10 bars in the world.
Yeah.
Only one of them is in America.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
The world's doing some crazy shit.
Yeah. Double Chicken Please is in New York. That's
New York.
number 2.
Yeah.
So it's for anyone listening who's just curious. It's Sips, Barcelona, number 1. 2 is Double Chicken Please. 3 is a Handshake Speakeasy in Mexico City. I guess that's America. 4 is Paradiso in Barcelona.
Don't sleep on Mexico City.
New Mexico.
City.
Oh, Mexico City. It's Mexico City, right? Never mind.
Yeah.
Scratch that. I misread that. Connaught Bar in London. Little Red Door in Paris.
Yeah.
La Cuerra Le Motor, Mexico City. And 8 is Taylor Elementary, London. Number 9 is Alcuenmico in Cartagena. And Himkok in Oslo is number 10.
Yeah.
Jesus, we don't get another American bar until number 17, Overstory.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I gotta fucking make sure my password's good.
Should.
But all right, that's Sips in Barcelona is your best bar that you've been to.
Yeah. Blew my mind.
All right, shit, that's a fucking tough one. I guess I'm gonna have to make some moves, Rosanna. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go to Barcelona to do a thing for the podcast.
Go to Mexico City. There's a lot of top 50 bars in Mexico City. Too.
Yeah, I saw like 4 in there. It's like 4 or 5. That's actually wild. I'm only at like number 36, London, Hong Kong, Rome. Berlin,
there's a ton of
Buenos
London.
Aires,
There's a
Stockholm.
surprising amount in like, I think like Thailand too.
Okay.
But London, UK has a lot. Obviously, Europe has a lot too.
Okay. What's your number 1 bar in the States?
Oh man.
Other than you can't be biased.
No, I would not say us. Ooh, that's so tough. Okay, so I'm gonna give 2. Service Industry Bar in Washington D.C.
Service industry bar.
That's or service bar. That's a bartender's bar. Like
I
when
like
I was there, they had
those.
green chartreuse on nitro.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How the fuck?
Yeah.
On nitro?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Also, oh my gosh, Nickel City, Austin's amazing. So I'm gonna give you a couple. Nickel City, Austin is amazing. Oh my gosh, there's another bar in Denver too. Denver too, that was absolutely killer. There's so many.
You give me Denver and fucking Austin, I'll be there fucking in a month.
Nickel City's fire.
I gotta try it.
Angel Share in New York. I heard they just reopened. It was amazing.
I heard about them.
But I haven't been to them since they reopened, but I went to the original one. It was amazing.
Right.
There's so many. It's hard. It's honestly hard
tough.
to place it. Yeah.
If you, This is a weird one. So we already talked about the Hemingway daiquiri. Talk about that's your
Yeah.
first drink. If you had one drink to recommend to a non-drinker, and you thought this would bring them over to our dark side, because that's the dark side, what would it be?
Non-drinker, period?
Hey,
Or like
I'm 21. I waited till I was 21. What's my entry? Do you want to give them Dark Times with Four Locos, or do you want to give them some like what would you pick?
No. Bramble. Gin Bramble.
A gin bramble with a blackberry?
Yeah.
Ooh, with Chambord and stuff?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Walk us through your
Yeah, so typically that's the classic gin drink. Chambord or creme de cassis is with it. It's over pebble ice, so it's very easy drinker. A little bit,
sweeter.
definitely a little bit sweeter.
Yeah, definitely a little bit more sweeter than I'm used
Yeah,
to.
it's got a good story too. So you can give them
Tell us the story.
background on it. So the whole Bramble is based off of the blackberry bush, or
Mhm.
so that was like based off of it, because like when you typically you're supposed to layer the drink with the creme de cassis or like Chambord,
Mhm.
and it's supposed to look like a blackberry bush, like or the thorns. But overall, first time drinker, a little sweet, a little fruity, easy.
Easy peasy.
Mm-hmm.
So we are getting to that time, man. We're getting to that time. I'm gonna keep drinking with you after.
Yeah.
I have nothing to do. I mean, I have plenty to do. But we're getting to that point, man. So the questions that are left,
Yes.
it'd be tougher. Has there ever been moments where you've felt early on, and like we kind of talked about this was the right move. You wanted to do this. You loved it. You enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Have there ever been moments you're like, did I make a mistake?
Yeah. Sure.
What caused that? Was it stress? Was it the pandemic? What was it?
That's a great question.
It's
So I
tougher.
would
We're
say-
at the end.
Yeah. Not the pandemic. That really didn't make you question it, but just I would almost say certain times of the hours, a little bit more so, not recently, but like relatively recently, like, service industry, love it. But the hours are just so different,
Yeah. Your Friday, Saturdays are not for you.
not what I consider my Friday and Saturday,
Yeah.
Friday and Saturdays, like to everyone else, is
Yeah.
my Monday, Tuesday,
Mhm.
so like I'm stuck in it. Like I still have a couple of friends that are still in it, like from back home. But overall, most of my friends work 9 to 5. They have families, so it's like that's the one aspect that I don't enjoy. Where it's like trying to connect with those people, it's very tough.
Yeah.
Will always be my homies. Like will always be close
yeah,
friends.
Yeah.
But like like my Friday, Saturday is like Sunday, Monday. Monday, Tuesday. And that's their beginning of their work week, So like I would say that's the toughest aspect of it.
And being a bar manager, these are when we're getting tougher. Does that make it so when you're like looking into relationships and all that? Yeah, this is where it gets tougher.
Man.
Yeah,
We're to my therapist.
Yeah, for a little bit. It's just because I've had friends that work in service.
Yeah.
I have friends who like they end up dating someone in the industry because that's the only one who understands.
Uh-huh.
It's tough to kind of manage that.
It's
We have
tough.
friends who work at
very
Maggiano's.
tough.
We have friends who work in other bars. We have friends that are distillers. We have friends that
Yeah.
keep all late nights, and then they try to function in like I will personally tell about me. I worked overnights for a very long time. My friends are
Yeah.
like, "Hey, we're going to the beach."
And that lifestyle's wild because
Yeah.
like you don't see daylight either.
No, and
And
when
people don't understand it.
I remember a friend saying, "Are you okay?" When I'm drinking at 8 a.m., I was like, "Well, this is my 6 p.m." And it was
Yeah.
hard for
And
people
this is
to.
my Friday.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? I'm off.
Yeah, I'm off tomorrow, and I just got out of work. Like
Yeah.
you're not seeing it the way I am,
Yeah.
and it's hard for people to make that connection.
Yeah.
For me personally, it became. There's even a story that I'll say it. I don't care. I ended up by mistake dating a stripper. I waited till you made a drink because I was working overnights.
Yeah.
And I had only met that person because
That makes sense though. That
because
makes sense.
I
yeah.
met her. Well, she worked. Her day job was at like a Starbucks barista in Barnes and Nobles. So I would.
So she was a good stripper?
No, her Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
Was a barista at Starbucks. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Yeah.
was all stripping. And I didn't know that
Yeah.
for the first 8 months of dating
Holy shit.
because I'm working overnights.
Yeah.
I don't see her at night. I have no
Yeah.
idea what she's doing at night.
Yeah.
I'm at work.
Yeah.
And I see her in the morning. And I'm tired, so I'm only seeing her for a limited amount of time. So we have like
Why was
pocket
she working at a coffee shop?
because honestly, she told me that she started there in college, started making it was a consistent job, health insurance, shit like that.
Okay.
You don't necessarily get a 401k from strip clubs. I mean, not yet. We should work on that. It's 2024.
They've got OnlyFans. That's where they get there.
Yeah, but like that lifestyle of like nightlife doesn't always translate to a relationship outside of like someone else in a nightlife.
Very true.
Do you find it tough to manage friendships, dating, and all that stuff? Being a bar manager in a fucking up and coming, very busy bar.
Yeah.
Does that?
So, actually, like pretty recently, single,
therapy shit. Here we are.
yeah. So like, I got out of a pretty long relationship, but like definitely like seeing that friendships, I think, is a little tough, but like. Any good friendship, is what you put in.
Yeah.
You always make time for the people that you care about. So it does make it a little bit trickier for sure. But I think anytime you have somebody you love, like you will find time. Does it make it harder? Yeah. But you'll make time for it.
That stripper thing, actually, funny enough. You want to know the only reason why I found out, Billy? I was coming off overnights. And she's like, hey, we have to talk. I was like, excuse me?
Oh, gosh.
It was a tough conversation. We'll talk about that off air. But so service industry, restaurant industry, all those relationships are tough. Even friendships. I'm a low maintenance friend, and I get it. When your friends are in town, everything like that, we're going to close on a happy question. You have friends coming in, longtime friends. And they're coming to your bar. What are the first 3 drinks you're presenting them?
Oh, my friends are assholes. So
okay, tell me about that.
All my friends are assholes.
Tell me about your friends and then your family. What are you presenting to your three drinks to your friends?
So my friends, and actually, I just got back from Vietnam not too long ago with a couple of friends.
Oh shit!
So
how was that?
Oh, it was amazing. And like, we're talking about friendship. Like, I feel like some of the best barometers of friendship is like. Not understanding the time frame. I didn't realize I didn't see one of my friends for like 8 years. So like 8-9 years since we saw each other.
Holy shit!
It didn't feel like more than didn't feel like any time has passed.
Low maintenance friends are fucking the best friends, man.
Yeah. I
can go I have a friend in Baltimore. She lives there now. She's from the city. We did not see each other for 10 years. She's invited to my wedding.
Nothing's ever changed.
Not fucking one thing.
I think that's the best barometer of friendship, man. Like like some things don't change. Yeah. And that's friendship.
What are you giving them?
Malort, because they're assholes.
I fucking knew it.
Chicago.
I knew you were gonna pick Malort.
Oh yeah. But also a little background. They're from Chicago. I'm from Chicago, so yeah, I'm picking Malort.
All right, Malort, and that's it. Just Malort all night. Anything?
Malort, and also because these friends are from college town, so we used to fuck with each other. Mm-hmm. So we used to like give each other like. We'd make all our friends or like whoever girls we're trying to impress, like, these nice foo shots, like taste super well, look red, and then we give our friend or whoever it was. And I've been on the receiving and giving side of this, like a red shot that looks like the rest, but it's like a warm, shitty tequila shot with a splash of grenadine. Oh, it's terrible. Terrible. It's terrible.
This friend group is assholes.
Oh, right? Yeah, we're all assholes. Those are my assholes.
They're assholes, but they're my assholes.
Yeah.
All right, family's in town. 3 drinks. What are you giving them?
Ooh.
Family that you can't be mean to.
Yep. Great glass of wine.
What's a glass? Red, white, what?
White.
All right.
So I'd give them a nice Vino Verde. Something light, something fresh, maybe even Sauvignon Blanc.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I think it depends, though, what we're doing. Like food.
They come to your bar.
Just to my bar?
They come to the courtesy. They said, hey, fucking, I've been listening to this podcast, Bourbon and BullSh, talk about you all the time. I don't know why your family's listening. But
are they having food? See, that changes it for me.
They're having appetizers.
Okay, then yeah, I'll say my statement. So for me, like, wine is such a good food pairing.
Okay.
Start with that. And then depending who they are, and just like knowing the people, like, I would definitely pull out a pocket cocktail. So maybe something straightforward.
Okay.
Something refreshing, but just understanding their palate. So
it's like pocket cocktail concept.
Pocket cocktails is something I know that fits.
Okay.
Something that I know is a great cocktail, but I think a lot of times new bartenders, what they lose is like they want to impart their palate on somebody else. But it's like it's not that. It's understand what the guest wants. It's understand what somebody enjoys.
Yeah.
So it's asking questions, understand what they enjoy.
Yeah,
You know?
understanding.
So it's like, just because what I like fucking weird mezcal. 99% of the population.
Mustard and mezcal.
99% of the population doesn't like that.
Yeah.
And that's very okay, and that's the norm. Nobody's like,
all right. I like that.
I'm an asshole if I think that's what everyone wants. No, it's I understand what people want.
Motherfuckers don't even like mustard on their hot dogs.
Yeah.
On their cocktails.
Yeah.
All right. What's number 3? So a pocket cocktail, wine, and what's the last thing you want to offer them?
Some sort of Amaro. A digestive.
Digestive teeth.
Yeah.
Break that down for people who are listening for the first, like not knowing.
Okay. So Amaro means bitter in Italian. So it's a very wide spirit range that isn't really well super defined. So they kind of range from aperitifs, like Aperol, Campari, to digestives, like Fernet Branca, Jaeger. Jaeger, one of the most misunderstood spirits of our time.
I realized that recently. But go on.
Yeah. It's amazing, you know? But, like, the American palate isn't used to bitter. A lot of other countries, like, bitter is, like, kind of their dessert, you know? But that's not us.
No, that's fair. I think what's really wild is as I've grown in drinking, and I've ended up like finding myself leaning like I like my Aperols, I like my Camparis, I like something bitter, I like something with a little bit more like uniqueness, not sweetness.
You're pushing your palate.
Yeah, and that's the point. That's the goal, and it's always interesting because you're like, oh, this is not as sweet as I would like. It's like, sweet feels like it's masking the nuances. Like there's a lot of stuff that you don't get from anything else because it's masked in sugar.
Yeah.
So Americans love sugar, and we know that from like the Luther, which is a sandwich made of Krispy Kreme, Krispy Kreme donuts as the buns. But we're not here for that.
No.
But that's a good one. That's a good, interesting to know.
Yeah.
All right, well, Billy, we're going to close out. I know it's getting late-ish, and we want to make sure that we pour some up for Mitchell and pour up some more. I mean, I'm going to pour more.
Yeah.
But do you have anything you want to say to anyone listening at home, where they can find you, where they can find the courtesy? Tell us. And any events you got coming up? I know we got Derby. I'm going to try to release this episode this Friday.
Yeah, we got Kentucky Derby coming up. Tickets are selling out fast, but just in general, I'd say, because a new drinker, don't be scared. Try new things. Ask questions. We won't embarrass you. It's all about learning.
Maybe Josh.
Yeah, maybe. But in general, like, no, we love the questions. Like, ask questions, try new things. We love it.
What are the handles on all socials?
Hashtag the Courtesy Bar.
The Courtesy Bar. There we go. The Courtesy Bar.
You want my socials?
If you want yours, you can put that on there if you want.
If you want to follow me, see my travels, hashtag BMAS1607 on the Instagram.
Yeah. Instagram happens to be popping.
It is.
But Billy, always thank you. I'm glad you picked the Weller Foolproof because I won, and my fiance thought you were going to pick the E.H. Taylor Barrelproof, which we haven't even tried. But that's not for you guys to listen to. That's my business. This is me thanking this man for helping me with the engagement and everything he's done for me. I'd love to have you on. So, Billy, thank you again.
No, it's been my pleasure, man. I appreciate you having me.
I'm hoping you had a lot of fucking fun, man.
I had a lot of fun.
We're going to do it up.
Yeah.
But, guys, if you are following us on all socials, we're putting out drink cocktails. We have Mask of the Red Death for Fringe coming out in mid-May. So we're going to come up with the Mask of the Red Death cocktail. Maybe I'll pick Billy's brain about it and what he wants to do. And the Prospero cocktail, all based on Edgar Allan Poe's. But you find us at bourbon_and_BS because Instagram won't let me monetize anything if I'm cursing all the time. Assholes.
We
said at the same time. Hopefully we'll get a drink of the day recorded by Drunk Billy. But we'll see what we do. Make sure that you're liking, subscribing, 5-star review on every single platform, guys. I am so small and so new. It helps the algorithms. Please do what you can. Share with everyone. Shouts to Alex, Justin, Richard, and Johnny for all the Patreon support and everyone else that has been helping out. Joe Byrne Pest Control. As always, guys, take care. Don't sex your ex. Avoid Amazon one-click buy. Don't drink and drive. Don't do anything stupid. And thanks for hanging out. Bye, guys. Hey guys, today's episode is brought to you by Byrne Termite and Pest Control. I first met Joe Byrne on Full Frontal Nerdity Show and decided to give his company a try. They have been the best pest service I've ever had. From flexible scheduling, attention to detail, fair pricing, and everything you love about a small business, I highly recommend Joe Byrne and Byrne Termite and Pest Control. It's a family-owned and operated business with over 30 years of experience in termite and pest. You can reach Byrne Termite and Pest Control at 321-297-7985. Once again, 321-297-7985. And let them know Bourbon and BullSh sent you. Thanks, guys. See you next time.